Hi, family. This isn't or wasn't going to be an episode where I put myself in front of the camera, but I'm so angry right now that I'm shaking. And I know I've said to you guys more than once that it's wise to wait. That's just good recovery, right? To wait until your emotions calm down before you dive into something. But I'm going to be one of the but people today. I have found for me that getting out in as linear a fashion as possible as I can what's happening inside this freeway of a mind of mine, the system of freeways. The first thing I'd like to say, and this may ramble, and I'm going to be good with that because I don't like doing, I like candid. I never, I love photography for ever and ever. Anybody that knows me well will tell you I have thousands, literally thousands of photographs. That's part of the wonderful thing about days like today, which happens to be my granddaughter's, my oldest living granddaughter Liv's birthday. The last one she'll have without her own child. Her child is due, as I understand it, the third week in November. Oops, sorry about that. So, of course, this birthdays, this isn't, when we talk about all those labels they throw at us, the toxic and the narcissistic, and one of them that I don't guess I've mentioned is this, us screaming for attention, which is ironic as hell, don't you think? And by the way, I am gonna swear every twice in a while. You should just know that. That's not what it is at all on days like today, but I have learned in this journey, and it has been a very long journey. I could never have done, or at least not done justice to, a YouTube channel before this, because I would have been angry and rage-filled and negative, and because I was so hurt, am so hurt, right? But as any, mostly mothers, I guess, are the ones who talk about it. Maybe some days the dads will talk more. They just don't really. But I mean, I just, you get to a point where you don't anymore scream about it most of the time. Just try to reflect on what you did have, if anything. And that was part of what I shared in my community post with you all this morning, was how I'm aware that out there among all of us in this hurting land of estrangement and alienation and ghosting and no contact, whatever freaking label your kid puts on it, out there are many, many grandparents, parents probably, who never got to make the memories that I did. So I have all these photographs, and I was so desperately hoping that my grandchildren were old enough to remember all of that, right? And it hit me one day. I was talking to my therapist about it, and similarly with my grandmother, who I adored with all that I was. I wouldn't be who I am without her. I remembered her, and we were taken away from her and moved across the country when, I don't know, I was like 6 or whatever. So, I am blessed, and grandmothers like me are blessed to have those memories. And I am even more so blessed because I was a photographer and loved capturing images. I mean, literally, I just loved it. And I realized at some point, because I'm a philosopher and I analyze the hell out of everything, that all of, or almost all of, the pictures that were taken of me as a baby and my siblings, they were lost in a fire. I had boxes of photos when I was raising my kids that were in the basement next to a window, right, in case we had a fire. So I have all those photographs and I have all those memories. So I put together today a collage of them. It was a beautiful, beautiful memento. I think I did. I put in the community section the text portion of the caption that I included, which was, "She won't see this because, unfortunately, in order to appease her mother, she at last blocked me on this social media channel as well. She hadn't before, and I knew she came to my page, and I love to share pictures so she could see them of memories. And even though she'd pretend with her mom that, it bugged her, I don't think it ever really did. Liv and I, this special, special relationship. So today's her birthday, and it just came to me, and I think this is coming, it seems to be coming much more quickly now. That's why I would say to those of you, and I'm not kidding in the least, if you're ready and you're at a point where you think you could do a YouTube channel, which, by the way, is free, it doesn't cost anything, but you also have to be ready to be fierce about speaking in the language of love, because that's what I needed to wait for. And I won't always do it. I'll probably fail a couple of times during this episode. But I'm human, and I'm going to give myself a break on that. Hopefully I'll do a really good job. So anyway, I am going to do the spoken word version. I'm going to just say it to you today, of a meme that has actually started to go viral in another social media space. And once our space gets bigger, and it's already starting to, that reminds me. So I had said we were going to do this Sunday reflections thing. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen for a while, you guys, because there's a lot of people coming in, which is a wonderful thing. And oh, by the way, you absolutely need to go to that community section, because there are some very wise voices that are being shared in there. Pam and Ann come right to mind, right off the top of my head. Wow, these ladies have been around a while and dealt with this, and they're moving forward in a positive, it's not to say we don't grieve it, because we do. I mean, Mother of God, of course we do. How could we not? They're great inspirational teachers in how to give you the shortcut, because when those of us who came, so there are many aspects to this alienation culture war, estrangement culture war. There are many. However, the majority of it came to be as a result. I won't go into that another time. But anyway, so I was there in the beginning, right? I was there in the beginning, and so were some of these other ladies. And this is a culture war. It is a change over. Some of us have been on this path a very long time and have had some epiphanies and come to acceptance for most of the time. So anyway, I would definitely go in there and check that out. And as the channel grows, we'll get better and better. I just can't keep up right now, you guys. Oh, by the way, that was another thing. I don't know if you can see my sweatshirt, but I wore this sweatshirt today. It's like warm outside, but I wore it today because I'm really angry right now. And my niece sent this to me, and it talks about exactly who I am and what I stand for. And listen here, I'm going to tell you straight up. There are a lot of places in YouTube land, and they grow every single day. There are more and more and more channels every single day. And you can go out there and put your beliefs and your opinions and where you stand. You can do that. What you cannot do is come into my space. My space. I just realized why he named that. That's funny. Anyway, so what you cannot do is you cannot come in here and try to change my position on the parameters of our respite, because this respite is one for those who are walking wounded. And I'll narrow that down even further. There are lots and lots of, for lack of a better term, islands where you can go in YouTube land to go and find your own respite. If you believe that, well, I'm just going to say, you can tell I'm biting my tongue, and I am doing a pretty good job since I'm pretty pissed off right now. Oh, see, there was another one of those swear words. All right, so here's what you should know about me. Politically, freaking hate that word. I am an independent, okay? This is where I stand. I am independent. Now, straight up, I vote Democrat pretty much all the time because my belief system, my value system, it goes along those lines. And I know, as someone who has been very civically conscious for a long time, I'm not going to vote independent. I mean, I could if there was some sort of a landslide happening or whatever, but I'm not going to do that because it would be a throwaway vote. I just explained to you, which is more than I do with pretty much anybody, but I am acting as trustee, not only creator of this particular island, but trustee for all of you. I have promised you safety in these walls, and you will have safety from the people coming from the outside who want to attack the belief and value systems that lie within these walls. You will not have safety in these walls. As one person discovered quite recently, that too is in our community section, if you try to get up on a soapbox and tell me why I'm wrong about how I feel, because then we're going to dance. That will happen. I just now, I do this every once in a while. I got to get my frustrations out. So I just spent, 2 hours, I think, over on a social media site just messing with some of these. God, they're always, I swear to God, they always are the same type of person, you guys. They all drive the pickup trucks with the big tires and like the 12 American Patriot flags, and they're little like short white guys with tiny penises, and they have no education. I mean, I'm not talking about the Republican Party, okay? Don't misunderstand me. I'm talking about that section of them in there who clearly, as a matter of fact, never even voted before this Peter Piper came to town. I cannot abide willful ignorance. And do you want to know why? I was just talking with Colleen about this yesterday. It was like an epiphany I had. Speaking of epiphanies, it's amazing what this does. It's because I lived in a foster home with really stupid people. Now, when I say that, I don't care if it sounds arrogant. She called me Little Miss Brain. She was always trying to break my spirit, break my will. And I did really well in school. I think I probably did because the only time we were ever left alone was when we had homework. So I brought a lot of homework home. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. So, oops, did it again. So anyhow, these were intentionally, willfully ignorant people who not only were willfully ignorant, but like many of that MAGA faction that I spoke of, take sadistic, cruel pleasure in your pain. I have spent a lifetime with knowledge of that kind of person, so I will brook no argument where that's concerned. None. That kind of person that I am referring to would happily assault my daughter or granddaughters and laugh all the way home about it. and they've said so. I'm in this fight. I mean, I'm a soldier. I'm fierce. I really wish a lot more of you would get out there because I'm just effing tired. I'm old and I'm tired. So this is it. I'm telling you straight up. Mark it here in this time. I'm telling you. We are all that's left, right? Every government, branch of government, all of the press, they're all buckling to him. You probably don't know about all the lawsuits, and now he's got lawyers who are working on credit. I mean, it's just ridiculous what's going on. So the only thing left is the American people. That's it. I'm telling you straight up right now. And I've been telling you this for a long time. Over and over and over again throughout history, it has been shown. This is proven. These are facts. It's not opinion. That once fascism takes hold, it takes an average of 31 years for you to overcome it. Now, my thought is, my unborn great-grandson will be 31 years old. Or right at that age before we get out of this crap that these idiots put us in. There are three factions of this nutso repub thing. So it's not the Republicans. I come from a deeply Republican family on my father's side. You have to know Ripon, Wisconsin is where it's the birthplace of the Republican Party. My entire family is deeply Republican, and I've had to make some very hard decisions. I detached with love, and I'm happy with that. I take a stand. Women are second-class citizens. I have a daughter and 2 granddaughters. Here's the deal, you guys. Steve Bannon, and I can't remember the guy that he followed. There's some guy, Raging Repub, whatever. He followed that. Steve Bannon is the one that told T-Rump, flood the zone. You have to flood the zone. Okay? Now, you have felt it. You cannot tell me if you live in this country you have not felt it. So what happened was they got into office, and what happened? Boom, 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 boom. I mean, it continues to come without end. We went through the renaming of the Gulf of America. Do you really think he gives a crap about that? No, it was just all part of the plan. Look, there's I don't know if it's 996 pages. I can't remember exactly how many pages there are, but Project 2025, the whole thing, you can look on video. Here's the thing, this gaslighting, you might as well not waste your breath with them, because there's stuff on video, and these people will still tell you it's not true. God. What the hell was I talking about? There's so much. The flooding the zone, Steve Bannon, T-Rump. The idea is to wear us down, right? That's the idea. I mean, it's psychological, right? It's psychological warfare. So you wear down the opponent. So they keep throwing. There's so much thrown at you that finally you just check out. And that's where everybody's been. They're just doing their own little thing. I mean, as a philosopher and a writer, here's what I see. I see the Matrix. I see you all out there sucking off the cooling of the Matrix. And these people, listen here, throughout the world, I have this social media site that has, mostly women, but from all over the world. It's not just local, thank God. And they're just astonished. They're just like, how did this happen? It was the same way we all were when we were going through school and we learned about Hitler. And you're just like, how does that happen? How do they let that happen? Well, now we know. But the other people around the world they don't know. So I tell them, it took me a long time to figure it out, because I was just as baffled and paralyzed and stunned and finally thrown into therapy as anyone else. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I think the CDC, whoever's in charge of the CDC, it came from the CDC. I don't want to quote whoever it was because I'm not sure, said that I believe it's 56%. It's well over 50% of people in a survey said they were seriously depressed with the state of everything. That's a lot of trauma. This is a nation under trauma. So I've gone the long way around trying to make you understand that I have been fighting this fight. Now, not only my daughter and grandchildren and having lost my son, but then you brought on COVID and you got all the opinions of people out there. Mother of God. Isaac Asimov said it best. There's been this culture of ignorance throughout the country for as long as we can remember, which is, my opinion is just as good as your knowledge. No, it's not. Sit down. It's, I just, and it's hard fighting all this stuff, like with facts and coming back, and it's exhausting because so many people have checked out. Oh, I know what I was talking about. The ones who were responsible. It was the ones who didn't vote. I mean, had the lazy asses that stayed home this last election, I don't want to get involved, I don't know. If they had just gone out there and done their civic duty, we wouldn't have dealt with this. But before that, it was these idiots that never voted before that came out of the hills, own the libs. This is what I tell the world. When you wonder, they just wanted to own the libs. That's it. They will run off a cliff if they can own the libs. Oh, and to balance this out a little bit, I think the idiot, I shouldn't say idiot, I'm sorry, you can tell I'm really angry. The Democrats, first of all, they were way too polite for way too long. I lived with these people for a long, long, long time. I know who they are. I also know who the president is. He can't fool me. Not for a minute. All those charges that he was convicted of, yeah. All those women, you believe them, okay? Or get out right now. There, see, I forgot again what I was doing. That's how upset I am. Aren't you glad that I really, really calm down when I do my spoken word and my meditations? I am at a point where I have virtually no tolerance whatsoever for anyone who defends either that man or anyone who defends that man. I don't have an issue if you believe in the principles that he claims to stand for, which, by the way, he does not. And I'm not even going to debate you because I already have all the proof I need and I'm done debating anybody. But if you believe in the principles that he stands for, which is what the Republican Party was supposed to stand for until this happened, and now they're all sucking off the tit of that guy. But if you believe those principles, I don't have an issue with that. I will disagree with you. I will wholeheartedly disagree with you that you have a right to tell my daughter or my granddaughters what to do with their body. We will do battle over that day and night. But guess what? You and I will shake hands at the end of the day, okay? We will not shake hands over this man ever, or over anyone who supports him ever. Within the first 6 days of his presidency, we lost a ton of allies around the world. We lost friends. We lost people we had spent decades building relationships with. No, if you want to support that, you go somewhere else. Right now. Now, I'm going to go back to what I was saying about the Democrats. So here's my issue with the Democrats. I hope they learn this. I hope they do. If they ever get a chance again. Frankly, I don't think we're going to... I've said it way back in the beginning. My therapist disagreed with me, and I wonder if I'll end up sitting down in front of him and saying, do you believe me now? Because I told him I don't think we're going to get a chance to have those midterms. Those tanks are pulling into the streets for a reason, people. Anyway, so back to the Democrats. I think they pushed it too far. Don't you? I mean, I think they just pushed it too far. Because, look, I don't know. I really don't know for sure. Like this transgender thing. I mentioned this in one other episode. I don't know enough to be educated enough to say how that should work. And I frankly have way too much on my hands to take that on too. Which is why we put these elected people in place so that they can use fair and balanced judgment, not this cancerous crap that's gone on. You all know what's happened. Don't pretend it hasn't. Don't pretend. This transgender thing. Okay, so here's what I know I would stand on. Every person, so long as they are not hurting anyone else and they are of age, they have a right to do with their bodies what they want. It is none of your fucking business what they do. There goes a big swear word. Can you tell how I feel about this? I don't know if it's fair. There's testosterone in the body. Well, then, if you're going to compete in a female sport, isn't it unfair if you have more testosterone or power? I don't know. That may be an ignorant question. I don't know, but that's what comes to mind for me. As a woman, I am exhausted. As a woman who has watched all of our rights just slip away from us. I mean, we fought for decades. Gah! So that's one thing about the Democrats. That was another thing too. By the way, the other thing. I don't know. They pushed some things really way too far. We need balance. We all know this. And until this infestation came to power, I mean, it's infested our country now. Until that happened, we had 3 branches of government that were created for that reason. Do you understand? But the founding fathers couldn't have possibly known this was going to happen. You guys, we're in trouble. That's why they're all leaving. I mean, you know, the idiots, the willfully ignorant MAGA, whatever, you know, they celebrate, oh, I'm glad they're gone, you know. You are so stupid, you have no idea. These are intelligent, thoughtful people who gave to their communities, gave to the country, had homes. I mean, it just up and left. Do you think they did that for no reason? All right, this has gone on long enough, so I'm going to end with something that actually inspired this episode, and it was going to be a spoken word. But I am just way too upset for it to be. Iced coffee. Now this is on estrangement. I guess I just spent however long. It really wasn't about estrangement at all. But this is on estrangement. And it's because today's my granddaughter's birthday. My pregnant granddaughter's birthday. And relegating loved ones to lifelong exile is not discipline. It is not justice. It is cruelty in its purest form. A punishment no crime could warrant. A sentence handed down not by a court, but by the silence of kin. They call it estrangement, as if a sterile word could soften the blow. As if banishment could be mistaken for boundaries. As if cutting off blood and memory were anything other than abnormal psychology. Because tell me, what rational mind finds healing in shoving love in a locked cell and throwing away the key? What rational mind calls disowning a parent, erasing a child, or exiling a grandparent a form of growth? This is not growth. This is not health. This is cruelty disguised as self-care. This is trauma masquerading as triumph. And those who live it, those who are left behind, know the difference. We wake each morning to the ghost of connection, to birthdays that arrive like empty chairs, to milestones we witness only in silence, to grandchildren we ache to hold, while being told we are dangerous, toxic, unfit to love. And society looks away. Friends look away. They tell us, it's just the way it is now. But exile should never be normalized. Silencing love should never be rationalized. The tearing apart of family is not normal and never will be. I refuse to let cruelty dress itself in the robes of justice. I refuse to let abandonment be rewritten as healing. I refuse to call abnormal psychology anything but what it is, a sickness, one that spreads in whispers, in severed bonds, in generations taught that love is disposable. And so I speak, I write, I roar. Because even if my voice cannot bring them back, it will name the truth. Relegating loved ones to lifelong exile is cruel. It is unusual, and it is punishment that no rational being should ever condone. The meat of this episode in the beginning was to lay out the groundwork for you to understand something. I will not budge from this position. I will not. I have nothing to lose. You see? I don't have any children in my life. My son is gone. He's been gone. My daughter walked away from me to punish me for his death, and with her, she took my grandchildren. And then, in between times when she needed me, then I was okay. But I have nothing to lose. I mean, I have wonderful people in my life, and I love them. But if I'm going to go down for what I believe in, and that has to be my legacy, I'm good with that. But I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing for as long as I can. And those of you who want to be in this room and are with me, raise your voices, because that's what we're here for. I want to empower women, to help empower other women, to help empower girls. And I want this message to get to my daughter and granddaughters, because that's how I raised my daughter. And I do believe she's at least in the process of seeing the light. And even when she gets this message, it will always have been the same, because my daughter always heard this message from me. So much so that she told her husband, the father of my oldest granddaughter, Larry, before he met me, she warned him that my mom is a feminazi. So I won't apologize for it. It's just who I am. I hope you choose to stay here with me. And listen, if you've got an issue, I mean, if it really bites some way for you that you don't believe like I do or whatever, scroll on if you want to hang out, or go somewhere else. There's lots and lots and lots and lots of places that are just for that kind of, I'm just going to say it, religious arrogance and judgment and closed-mindedness, and I don't know. We just we don't see things the same if you, well,